Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where this time we're going to be talking about the High Republic. Yes, the High Republic era, which exists only in books and comics and very limited media, with its only appearance in an actual visual media being in what is considered by many to be the worst Star Wars show that we have created. With that being said, it's time to ask the honest question of why do so many people not care about the High Republic? And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. First off, not the average fan is going to be into reading novels and reading comics. It's just not a thing for everyone. I do understand that there's a ton of great Star Wars novels and a lot of expanded universe material that exists in those mediums that is very popular amongst fans, but there are still those that don't fully have the time to read all of that either. And I think introducing a new era that is considered canon and is considered a part of the main storyline of Star Wars is a little bit questionable. I think the High Republic would have been better suited to debut in a movie, kind of setting up the time period, which then you can follow up with books and novels, but you have to have that initial hook to get people interested. And a lot of people just weren't thrilled about it. It also was announced during a time that Star Wars is not in the most happy place as a fandom. The sequel trilogy and a lot of um, a lot of division happening, so not a lot of excitement around this to begin with. Now, from what I have read about the High Republic, and I'm not caught up on all the material, but I have dived into it just to get an understanding, is it's not inherently bad. There are some decent characters. It is cool to see the Jedi at a time of exploration and expansion in the galaxy. And it all kind of leads up to the prequel movies where we see the Jedi begin to fall because they've become too dogmatic and invested in the dealings of the Republic. I have to say, this is an odd choice for a time period to invest so many stories and research into. While, yes, this time period is kind of missing from the timeline because it's not something we've necessarily seen too much of before, there's really not a whole lot that can happen on a grand galactic scale because we know where everything ends up in the Phantom Menace. So they're very limited in the stories they can tell. They can't bring in Sith or, any crazy threats because everything has to be set at a time of peace for the prequel trilogy to make sense. Now, they do have credible threats that they deal with in the High Republic timeline, but again, it's where everything is ending up and you get introduced to so many new Jedi that that's the other thing too. Like there's almost an abundance of characters during this time. I think if they had focused on a core team of Jedi, but it seems like they're constantly rotating their main cast and it's a lot to keep up with. Star Wars already has hundreds and thousands of characters to remember and know backstories on, and the High Republic introduces characters at such a rapid rate that it's a little bit difficult to keep up with. But like I said, it is cool to see Jedi. It is cool to explore a new time period, but I'm just not sure who was asking for this. I think people would have rather resources been invested in more Old Republic material, or maybe something set in a timeline very far away from the Skywalker saga. But, it is what it is. And I really think bringing High Republic elements into the mess that was the Acolyte was probably a deal breaker for a lot of people. Me being one of those people that did not like the show, I had a lot of issues with it, and there are many other fans that feel the same. And for that being the first live action representation of the High Republic period, it's really not a good look. Um, So, unfortunately, I don't know that this is something that a lot of fans are ever going to be really into and really excited about. If you are, hey, that's cool. I have no issue with you whatsoever. It's just not for me, and I might come around on it. Eventually, I will finish reading through all of the High Republic phases and kind of get a deeper understanding of the story, but as it stands, it just feels kind of generic, and that's the best way I can put it. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think about the High Republic in the comments below. If you have any recommended reading, I would love to hear it. Would love to get into this time period and understand it more for sure. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of our videos. And as always, may the force be with you. Now let's blow up that like button and go home.